In my humble opinion, rollers are the mumble rap drum and bass.
This one drops low, this is hard sound.
They're simple and effective. They apply to a younger crowd. They get an irrational amount of hate.
I don't know who created it, if it was Future or Migos, but all them sound the same.
When they're ultimately moving the culture forward. Let me explain. So within any genre, there's always this fight or this argument against simple and effective versus musically expansive, and which is better. And ultimately, there is no answer. It's up to the listener, the consumer. You have your simple melodies, and then you have your crazy chord changes. Something that's more cerebral, something you have to think about and dive into versus something that's straightforward, ultimately isn't anything more than what it is. Rollers and mumble rap are both simple and effective, but they're not the most musical things out there, but they're also not trying to be, and I believe that's the beauty of it. They're not trying to be anything more than they are. They don't have this pretentious air of listen to my ideas and how deep and how far they go and look at this little thing I did. Nope, it's beat, boop, beady doo. You know, it's fun, it's exciting, it gets the people going.
But it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
gets the people going.
It's
that's enough!
And does that make rollers any less than intelligent drum and bass? Is mumble rap any less of a craft than MF Doom and Royce the 5'9" and super lyrical hip hop?
I don't know.
No, because they both exist next to each other. One's not really fighting the next. One's not really eclipsing the other. They both very much work in tandem. Here's the thing, like, rollers are ultimately taking in a new crowd that, you know, the age-old story. You get in at the ground level on what's exciting, what's new, and then you dig into the history. In the beginning of my drum bass, journey, I did not get Caliber. I didn't really care for Caliber. I was into the dance floor, the tear out stuff, everything I don't really DJ or talk about or make now, I was into. I didn't understand Caliber. I didn't hear Caliber.
No, you're supposed to hear it.
Hey, I just said I like to listen to it.
No, there's a difference between hearing and listening.
But then I took the time, I explored a little bit more, and now Caliber's my favorite. See, I got in at the easy stuff, the commercial, the simple, and I was brought to the depth of the underground, the real drum and bass. But I love both, both exist. Why can't we have both?
¿Por qué no los dos?
Rollers get a lot of hate. Mumble rap gets a lot of hate because it's not true to the traditional art form of hip hop or the traditional art form of drum and bass. But why does it need to be? If you want to talk to Wynton Marsalis about jazz and what equates real jazz versus the Robert Glaspers and Kamasi Washingtons and things like that, you have the purists who say real music is this and this isn't real music, but ultimately they exist side by side. Most traditions become broken, become innovated, and then trickle down back into that traditional sound to make something new. The sound palette, the production, the simplicity of mumble rap falls back into real hip hop. The sonics of it are constantly elevated, even if the end result is something simple. Simple is good. The simplest songs are usually the most popular if you think about it. Something crazy and musically expansive and opens your mind to new corners of whatever are cool. But ultimately, like, everyone knows the ABC song because it's A, B, C, D, E, F, D. Now if it was like a bajillion chord changes and like a weird free section with no time, and I mean, this is kind of a terrible analogy, but you get what I'm saying. Like, simple kind of just drives the point home. Simple connects. If you instantly get something, you're probably going to engage in it so much faster and so much more. You might not stick around, but the fact that you get it means that you don't have to do much else. You can have jump up and rollers and dance floor, and then you have metalheads and Rupture and R&S, labels that are valued on deep and musically expansive ideas and emotions and the music within the music, smooth jazz, John Coltrane, Kenny G, Wynton Marsalis, the simple and the deep, the surface level and the underground, the overground and the underground, because the overground attracts listeners from outside, people who are the passerby. You know, if you're out about to go to the club, you know how many people just walk by and go, oh, that's interesting. Let me walk in and see what it's about. Overground. Let me walk in and see what it's about. Underground. I learn what it's about. I'm kind of into this. I'm diving deep into the culture. Not everyone really starts out listening to the deep stuff. They go for the surface level and then make their way down to it, especially when they're introduced in a positive and encouraging way. That positive and encouraging introduction is kind of what keeps people to stay around. If you come into a space and all you get is looks like, what are you doing here? What's this? And I was like, no, come on, hang out. You don't get it? Let me explain it to you. Let me show you what this is about. That ultimately pushes a culture forward. Not, what are you doing here? You don't get it? You haven't been here since the beginning? Since the 90s, back at the Blue Note on Goldie, and you know, that doesn't help. I don't know where I was going with that. Rollers, just like mumble rap, connect with the younger crowd. Younger as in, let's say, 25 and under.
If the kids like it, my fans like it, whoever this music pertains to, if they like it, that's for them.
The new ravers that just want to escape. They don't want to think. They don't care about this crazy storyline and all this deep faux emotion that's put in music. Not saying all of it is, but come on. The pretense within hip hop and drum and bass and metal and any kind of music, you know, the purists. If you look in the comments now, there's probably somebody who's talking about the 90s and I don't care about the 90s. And that's what this crowd is. The crowd of the Rollers don't care. It's not that they don't appreciate or have respect for what came before.
Kendrick Lamar had a more compassionate perspective, telling Forbes, quote, I want hip-hop to continue to evolve. That's why I can't shun a lot of the artists that may not be a Kendrick Lamar. So at the end of the day, as long as you be who you are, but respect what God is here, that's how you continue to evolve.
Point is, Rollers, just like mumble rap, are about the here and now. I'm feeling this way, I don't want to feel this way, let me get lost in the music. Rollers are super effective in a live setting. You can cross your arms and be like, I'm over this all you want. But when you go to a festival and you're really there for the music and for the immersion, you get lost because they immediately hook you in. It's fun, it's exciting. It gets the people going.
But it's provocative.
No, it's not. It's
Gets
gross.
the people going.
It's
No,
disgusting.
that's enough!
Rollers are here to stay. I'm saying it. You know what my opinion means? Absolutely nothing. It's an opinion, exactly. Rollers are here to stay. And they're gonna keep innovating, they're gonna keep growing, because for every person, and I know you've probably said this, I've said it myself, but then I can make that in like 5 minutes. I could do this. It takes nothing. I can sneeze and make a roller. But then when you try, it's very uninspired. It's missing a lot of what makes a good roller a roller. Lots of people think they can just mumble into a mic and make an effective mumble rap song, and then it falls flat because you don't give it the respect it deserves and understand that while it is simple and kind of mind-numbing and not your thing, it still takes time. It still has specific niche things that make it what it is. And if you don't reach those things, then you're more or less not doing it right, not doing it well. If I try to make a jungle tune, even the most basic amens and 808s, if I don't listen and understand and engage in what jungle is, I'm probably gonna make something that has the ingredients of jungle, but is not a jungle tune, you know? Think about it. Rollers aren't eclipsing the rest of drum and bass. They're there to supplement it. They're another side, another page within a chapter, within a book, within an anthology of what this music and this culture has become, where it came from, where it is, and where it's about to go. And Rollers are here to stay. Jump Up's here to stay. Mumble Rap's here to stay. It might not always be at the forefront, but it's here. It's an integral part to the sound and the growth as a whole. And I'm all for that, because I want this to last, not stay stuck in the past or stuck in the now, which eventually becomes the past and never changes, never becomes what it can be. No one knows what drum and bass is going to be like in 20 years from now, in 30 years from now, in 100 years from now. No one knows, but we can be open to the possibility that it's going to be a little different than what we grew up with. And that doesn't make us wrong, and it doesn't make the people who like it wrong. It just is. And drum and bass is what it is. And I can't wait to see what it turns into. Anywho, maybe I'm looking too far into this, and maybe none of this made any sense, and that's cool. We have this wonderful comment section, which I would love to hear your thoughts. If you disagree, sick. Tell me why. I want to understand from a point of view that isn't mine. Like anything, these videos are just kind of my ideas, my point of view. They're not facts. They're not like, I'm right, you're wrong. It's just, hey, here's my observation. Let me chat about it, since no one else is. I would love to hear yours. Stick them in the comments, DM me on whatever social media platform. Make your own video. I would love to see that since I'm the only one doing it, you know? Anyway, you like what you see, like, subscribe, all that YouTube crap. Go check out my music. Yes, I actually do make music and not just these videos. And catch you in the next one. Peace. Testing 1, testing 2, testing 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Boom. Testing. Like, rollers, they're like the Marvel Cinematic Universe of drum and bass. If you wanna, they're not necessarily the cinema, the story, the wonderful shots, the expansive filmmaking. They're just straightforward 2.5 hours of you're about to have an exciting ride of your life. And then you go on about your life.